incident database.
I mean, most of that is just not true. We have 1,700 current DT managed programs. We're up 300% in the amount of cases we brought against nihilistic, violent extremists, including 764, wishing to harm our children. The FBI and the men and women are getting after that problem set more than ever because I've unleashed them to do so. And any insinuation that these tragic occurrences across the country are somehow singularly my fault or disgusting because that watershed goes down to the men and women at the FBI.
Mr. Patel,
and they are not responsible for it. I'm happy to work with you to get them what they need.
Gentlelady controls the time. Unanimous consent request. She'll state a request.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm your independent political analyst, no spin, no tribalism, just facts, context, and thoughtful commentary. Today, I want to break down a heated exchange in Congress between Representative Lucy McBath of Georgia and FBI Director Patel. The discussion centered on domestic terrorism, resource allocation, and whether the FBI under Patel's leadership has truly been effective at protecting Americans. Let's walk through what happened and what it really means.
It's back. The gentlelady from Georgia is recognized.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for coming in today, Mr. Patel. In the past few months, the country has experienced a string of horrific, high-profile attacks that have been motivated by racial hatred or political ideology. Shooter attacked the CDC headquarters, firing hundreds of rounds and killing a police officer. An arsonist set fire to the Pennsylvania governor, Josh Shapiro's residence, with the governor and his family actually inside. Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband were assassinated earlier this year. Clark and Charlie Kirk was murdered last week. Bomb threats have been made against HBCUs and the DNC, and just the list goes on and on. I only have just a few minutes today, so I don't want to take a lot of time to go into all the countless and devastating violent crimes and incidents that have happened at our schools or on our streets and in our communities that have just been happening all year long. Mr. Patel, just yes or no, is this type of political violence ever acceptable in your eyes?
No.
I'm glad that we agree that these heinous acts designed to instill fear and division in our nation are never, ever acceptable, yet each of these incidents has recently taken place under your watch. The FBI's website states that protecting the United States from terrorist acts is the FBI's #1 priority, including from domestic terrorists. Is this still your #1 priority?
Domestic terrorism?
Preventing domestic terrorism.
Our #1 priorities are protecting the homeland and international terrorism and crushing violent crime, and domestic terrorism sort of interlays between both of those.
Okay, so well, then I'm glad that you're giving us the right answer, but unfortunately, your actions kind of tell a different story. Earlier this year, you granted the ranks of the FBI's Domestic Terrorism Operations Section. This is the section of the FBI that is most directly responsible for addressing political violence in our country by preventing attacks from occurring and effectively responding to them if they do. The agents in this section are the ones who stopped an individual stockpiling weapons, who planned to attack schools and churches in Florida and seized bombs made by an ISIS sympathizer in New Orleans. And instead of ensuring that this section has all the resources that it needs at a time when its mission is critical, you fired its decorated veteran FBI agents who have served their country proudly under Republican and both Democratic presidents, and you scrapped the tools that they developed to fight domestic terrorism, including the National Domestic Terrorism Incident Database.
I mean, most of that is just not true. We have 1,700 current DT managed programs. We're up 300% in the amount of cases we brought against nihilistic, violent extremists, including 764, wishing to harm our children. The FBI and the men and women are getting after that problem set more than ever because I've unleashed them to do so. And any insinuation that these tragic occurrences across the country are somehow singularly my fault or disgusting because that watershed goes down to the men and women at the FBI.
Mr. Patel,
and they are not responsible for it. I'm happy to work with you to get them what they need.
Gentlelady controls the time. Unanimous consent request. She'll state a request.
Thank you very much. Into the record, an article from Reuters titled FBI Scales Back Staffing, Tracking of Domestic Terrorism, Probes Sources Say. Thank you very much.
Without objection.
I appreciate that. So, Mr. Patel, and it isn't just the domestic terrorism operations section. Under your watch, agents are fully diverting their attention to these anti-immigrant and city takeover operations, leaving our children vulnerable to dangerous networks of online predators, both domestic and international. You pulled more than 120 FBI agents from their normal duties to operate sobriety checks and conduct traffic stops, exposing the FBI's fleet of unmarked cars and thereby making it harder for the FBI to combat violent criminal gangs, foreign intelligence services, and drug traffickers in the process.
That's simply not true. If we were not able to do two things at one time, how would we be
Patel, I
seizing
reclaim
record
my
amounts of
time. I
fentanyl?
reclaim my time.
23,000
Chairman, I'd like to
violent
enter
felons have
into
been
the
arrested.
Time belongs to the
Consent
More
gentlelady.
than twice as many as
request.
last
Belongs to
year.
the gentlelady from Georgia.
Thank you very much. And this request basically is, it is an article from Reuters, which quotes law enforcement officers familiar with agents who once covered child exploitation cases, but now focus on immigration child exclusive. Thousands of agents diverted to Trump immigration track down. Mr. Patel, in the short time I have left, your tenure as director of FBI has been somewhat problematic. Americans are left definitely less safe under your watch. You have gutted the FBI's ability to keep safe from domestic terrorism. You have sent FBI agents to conduct traffic stops and round up hardworking immigrants who pose no danger to public safety. People even President Trump referred to as good, long-time workers. Your job is to protect and serve the American public.
Time, the
You have
gentlelady.
spent your time protecting heinous individuals and using the FBI to serve as a political circus. You at times have appeared unequipped,
Time
and
of
this
the
country
gentlelady has
deserves better, and
expired.
I yield.
Gentlelady yields
May I
back.
respond?
Sure can.
Simply put, what is it? Are we failing? If we're failing, how are we arresting 23,000 violent felons? Twice as many as this time last year. Are we failing? Because if we're failing, how are we seizing 1,500 kilograms of meth, 25% increase from last year? Are we failing? Because we captured 4 top 10 FBI most wanted from around the world in 7 months. That's more than the entirety of the last administration. Are we failing? Because we put 1,500 child predators in prison. Are we failing? Because we dismantled 300 human trafficking networks. Which is it? You don't like me, that's fine. But don't you dare disparage the men and women of the FBI that are producing record results in historic fashion to protect this country. They are kicking ass for America, and they're going to continue to do so.
And we appreciate your leadership. The gentlelady from Florida is recognized.
Representative McBath began by listing a series of violent incidents: a mass shooting at the CDC, an arson attack at Governor Josh Shapiro's residence, the assassination of Minnesota's House Speaker and her husband, and even the murder of Charlie Kirk. Her point was clear. These attacks were politically or racially motivated, and the FBI is supposed to be the first line of defense against such violence. She asked Patel a direct question: is political violence ever acceptable? Patel responded firmly, no. From there, McBath accused him of neglecting the FBI's stated mission of preventing domestic terrorism. She argued that under his watch, the Bureau had scaled back its domestic terrorism operations section, fired veteran agents, and even scrapped the National Domestic Terrorism Incident Database. To back this up, she entered into the record a Reuters article suggesting the FBI had reduced staffing in this area. Patel pushed back hard, saying much of that was just not true. He highlighted that the FBI currently has 1,700 active domestic terrorism programs and claimed a 300% increase in cases being pursued. He pointed to recent successes, including foiling plots against schools, churches, and cases involving ISIS sympathizers. The debate then shifted to how resources are being used. McBath alleged that Patel had diverted over 120 agents from child exploitation and counterterrorism to duties like traffic stops, sobriety checks, and immigration enforcement. Her framing was that this weakened the FBI's ability to keep children safe and protect communities from organized crime and foreign adversaries. Patel denied this, arguing the Bureau can handle multiple priorities at once. He emphasized the record results: 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone, 1,500 kilograms of meth seized. For top 10 fugitives captured, 1,500 child predators jailed, and 300 human trafficking networks dismantled. So what's the bigger picture here? McBath's concerns aren't unfounded. Politically motivated violence is on the rise, and if resources are being diverted away from domestic terror prevention, that deserves serious scrutiny. The Reuters reporting she cited suggests there's at least some basis for criticism. At the same time, Patel's defense can't be ignored. The FBI's accomplishments, whether it's violent felon arrests or child predator prosecutions, are real and significant. If anything, the tension highlights a challenge every law enforcement agency faces: balancing limited resources across multiple high-stakes missions. The deeper issue here is trust. Americans need to believe the FBI is prioritizing public safety, not political optics. If critics see the Bureau as politicized, confidence erodes. On the other hand, If the FBI is in fact producing historic results, as Patel claims, the Bureau needs to communicate that more effectively to rebuild credibility. In the end, this was a clash of narratives. Representative McBath portraying the FBI as distracted and underperforming, and Director Patel painting it as more effective than ever. Both sides made compelling points, but the real takeaway is that Americans deserve transparency and accountability. The stakes are simply too high when it comes to domestic terrorism and national security. As always, the truth lies in careful examination of the evidence, not just partisan sound bites. That's why these hearings matter. They give us a clearer window into how institutions like the FBI are actually functioning. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.